Uh, this next clip, we're doing some research on the mafia for a mafia material piece, and I stumbled across how AZIE slept with Rich Porter's child's mother and AZIE's hygiene situation. AZIE envied Richard. Damn. Now, this is interesting or whatever and shit. I'm definitely interested in hearing this. Shout out to Up to Date TV. I definitely seen some of both content before. You know what I mean? So let's get into it.
All right, peace. Check it out, man. It has long been my position that this dude AZIE is a scumbag. You feel me? A liar and a creep.
And a rat. Double rat.
But the Angela Solomon book further gives validity to my train of thought. And I know I can't be the only one feeling like this. In the book, Richard and I, she divulged that her and AZIE slept together shortly after Richard's passing. Nah, it take two people to tango. I understand that. So I'm not putting all the blame on AZIE, but it still was scumbag behavior. It was envious behavior. You feel me? She feels as if he played on her vulnerabilities and said as such in the book. You know what I'm saying? And said as much in the book. Let's get to a couple of these excerpts, man. She says, well, she's very explicit in the way she talks, so I'm a tone it down just a bit in the rhetoric, but you'll get the gist of it. She said, when I first slept with AZIE, it was the beginning of the summer of 1990, after Richard got killed. She said she was on the block, and AZIE called her over to his car, and asked her if her and her daughter was doing all right. She said AZIE asked how me and Rashana was doing. I told him she was okay. AZIE took a stack of $5 bills out of his pocket and handed it to me. Take this for you and Rashana. I put the money in my pocket and thanked him. AZIE told me take his beeper number and beep him if I or Rashana ever needed anything. As soon as AZIE left, I went upstairs to see how much money he gave me. He gave me $5 million. Not 5 million. He gave me $500. Now that's the bait. She just lost the breadwinner, you feel me? Richard just passed. She was probably financially strapped, and he about knew that. You feel me? He envied almost everything Richard had, his lifestyle, the money.
He definitely envied. I mean, shit. She was definitely strapped for cash because Richard died basically because he ain't had the bread to pay the half a ticket to get his brother back. You know, and I know even $1 million, but it's like, man, you talking about somebody who they say Eddie Carl, he never wore the same pair of shoes or the same outfit. Like, he's been out here getting money for a long time. How do y'all think like this shit just happened? Like, Rich was outside. He was outside longer than A. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, she definitely whatever needed some money or whatever and shit. $500, like, it's stories about AZIE spending more on jump shots or riding down 8th or whatever, like throwing money out the car. This is supposed to be the man. Not only that, but here's the crazy shit. A got a sister. I mean, A got a baby with Rich's sister. So essentially, you slept with your niece's mom, like by default. Like, that nigga's a real scumbag.
He was making, that's what, in my opinion, drove him to become a drug dealer in the first place. And if you watch Paid in Full, you'll see as much. When the dude, I think Wood Harris is playing him or whatnot, how he looking at Rich when he working at the cleaners and everything. Iron Rich, when he come through in a new car, when he come through with the jewelry and the clothes and stuff like that, he was envious. of that lifestyle. You feel me? Even envious of him in the bedroom. And the woman said as much, but we'll get to that. Let me get back to these notes, man. But that was the...
I mean, I think everybody just kind of wanted to be in the game at that point. Like, you know what I'm saying? It, like in the 80s, it was like you seeing that shit. And I mean, probably, you know, it definitely envious people and shit. You know what I mean? Like, and that probably might have been an emotion involved. But it's more so like kind of motivated to like get involved. Like envy would be like you trying to knock a nigga out of his spot. Now, if that happened or whatever, we'll see more of these excerpts and shit.
The play, that was to set it up right there. Huh? Take this little bread. You feel me? Gave her $505 bills. I guess he was giving her all the small change he had on. She said, a few weeks went by, and I decided to beat AZIE and ask him for money to buy Rashana a battery-operated Barbie car. I beat AZIE, and he called me back. AZIE asked me how much it cost. I told him it was $250. He brought the money to me. She said the first time she slept with AZIE was at the music studio. He asked her to go to the music studio with him on 142nd Street between Lenox and 5th Avenue, right by the Armory. She said he wanted her to...
That's crazy. That was when he was doing the mob style shit or whatever after Richard passed.
Check out some new songs. So he trying to impress her. Taking her to the studio. He got a label. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to listen to some songs. She said it was a cool, what she say? The music studio was downtown Brooklyn. A few of his friends were at the studio with us. I can't remember who all was there. I believe it was Diggaroo and Lil Bop. They were AZ's friends. I believe they also rapped on his Mob Style album. AZ's record label was called Mob Style. The studio was nice. The studio was a nice little hangout spot with chairs and a couch. It was real cozy with dim lights. We listened to some rap songs AZIE and his friends recorded. Now, she said, AZIE and I talked about Richard for a little while. At the time, it was not confirmed that Alpo had killed Rich. So, nigga, I mean, he's playing on her vulnerabilities, just like she said. She just lost Rich. He played on the vulnerabilities with her daughter. You know, if you or your daughter need anything, he'll take this for you and the baby. Now he playing on her vulnerability with Richard, speaking to her about that situation and how it hurt and how it felt and whatnot. She said, we talked about the time he got robbed too. The time 6 people got shot up, 3 died, 3 survived. AZIE told me the whole story. AZIE said he was coming from playing basketball. He was with the 13-year-old little girl. Nah, bang, stop right there, because AZIE said the girl was already there. If you remember AZIE telling this story and how I felt or whatnot, she said we talked about the time he got robbed too. The time 6 people got shot up, 3 died, 3 survived. AZIE told me the whole story. AZIE said he was coming from playing basketball. He was with the 13-year-old little girl. Nah, bang, stop right there, because AZIE said the girl was already there. If you remember AZIE telling this story, he said the little girl was at his apartment. She had caught a cab to his apartment and basically met him at the door, met him over there or something like that. And I remember this because I questioned how she knew where his stash spot was. If he wasn't having a sexual relationship with this minor, this child, this 13-year-old, it said 12-year-old.
Nigga, I've been saying this shit. Niggas be like, yo, you don't know what you talking about. That ain't happen. Listen, my nigga. Fuck that. Fuck the cab shit. And the original shit, like, he said, the girl was already, like, in the apartment. Everybody, his auntie, all the people, you know what I mean, is in there. But somebody told me, bro, and I want to say back in 99, bro, this is how old, like, you know what I mean, the story is to me, that he was a peddler. He like fuck with them young girls. And how the girl that was in there, that wasn't no relative or friend of the family, that was some young chick that he was knocking down. Yeah, see, I knew I wasn't tripping, bro. Like, you know, and I was careful on, like, you know, repeating because a lot of people were muting it and everything like that. But the person who told me, let me just say this. A homie, I'm not going to say his name. I'm going to holler at him first or whatever, see if I can say his name on the joint. But everything that nigga told me about that era, because he lived it, always came to fruition. Like, it always came out to be solid information. Shout out to homie.
Year-old in the paper, by the way. You feel me? Not 13. It said 12-year-olds. I found the article. But that's neither here nor there. He tells her that the little girl was with him already when he was playing basketball, and she traveled with him to the house. He didn't say the girl was 13, but the news reported that it was a 13-year-old girl included in the shooting. Besides, I knew the girl. She was about 4 or 5 years younger than me. AZIE was 23 at the time. Yeah, a real creep. So she even knew back then that was uncivilized behavior. You don't know grown-ass man to be dealing with a child, a 12, 13-year-old. You dig what I'm talking about? She told a story about AZIE going into the building and this and that and the other blase split. I ain't gonna get into all of that. I'm trying to get to the parts that need to be spoken about. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. AZIE said, no, we ain't gonna get there. I believe AZIE said it was a young girl, Lynette, that crawled to the phone and called for help. I guess she was one. The young girl was supposed. I think she did survive, but I ain't sure if she called for help or not. That might just be what he's telling her. She said we talked, we ordered food and chilled for a while. One thing led to the next thing, and all I know. She said one thing led to the next thing. I know AZIE and I were having sex. I didn't remember how it felt. I didn't even remember where we had sex at or what was our sex position. I'm just guessing it was doggy style. I remember AZIE saying he liked the way her bottom looked and he wanted her bottom on his album cover. He said he liked the way her bottom looked from hitting her from behind or whatnot. This is according to her in the book. You dig what I'm talking about? Nah. She said she didn't plan on having sex with A. She just went along with the flow. Okay. She said they had sex 2 other times and each time money was involved. You dig? Now he tells her initially, you need anything, call me. And it's not other blase split. Now it turned into quid pro quo. You know what I'm saying? Quid pro quo. Whatever they call it. You know what I'm saying? It turned into backpage.com or something like that. Like, oh, you call, oh, well, come by and get it. Or I'm gonna pick you up and we gonna, you know what I'm saying? And she get the money afterwards. You dig? He was treating her, playing her like a prostitute. You dig what I'm talking about? She said, I needed a few dollars, so I beat AZIE. When I called AZIE, when AZIE called me back, I told him I needed a few dollars. He said, oh, okay. Told me to meet him on 142nd Street where we met before, right between Lenox and 5th Ave. I met AZIE and we went to a hotel in Jersey. Now that lets you know in his mind, he feel like he was wrong. He ain't dealing with her in New York even. You feel me? He took her to Jersey. You dig? Now I'm pretty sure it's an impressive place.
While you sitting here, hold up. So you need to tell me the whole time you sitting here talking about how did this, niggas wasn't loyal to Rich and when you had all that shit. And you sitting here basically turning his baby mama into a sex worker. Taking advantage of the fact that she's struggling after, you know, her baby father, which is your child's nephew, your child's uncle. Your ass child, know the situation. And that's real, that nigga ain't shit. Like, he ain't shit anyway. But now it's just like, yo, you the for real boo.
This places in New York that he could have took her, but to avoid being spotted, in my mind, he took her to Jersey. I don't remember where the hotel was at in New Jersey or the name of the hotel. I just remember relaxing in a jacuzzi, waiting for AZ to come back from wherever he went. AZ dropped me off and said he had to make a run. When he came back, we ordered food, had sex, and went to sleep. The next morning, AZ gave me $1,000 and dropped me off in Harlem. See what I'm saying? She beat him for a few bucks that day. She had to wait till the next morning in order for them to complete the act, in order for him to get what he wanted out of the situation. You dig what I'm saying? In order to get the bread that he told her initially to call for. So that's how you know he was setting up a play, man. The last time AZ and her had sex, they were at an apartment in Parkchester. She said, I had beeped AZ. I had a beeper and AZ beat me. I didn't know it was AZ. I called the number back and AZ answered the phone. He said, come to Parkchester. I got something for you. I'm going to send a cab to get you. AZ sent a cab to get me from 140th Street. And I went to Parkchester. Parkchester is a section of the Bronx. Oh. AZ had an apartment inside the Parkchester condominium complex. When I got to Parkchester, AZ met me downstairs. The cab driver knew exactly where to go because he took me straight to where AZ was at. The apartment was not furnished at all. I don't believe it was not furnished at all. I even believe there was a mattress on the floor, and I believe that's where we had sex at. Only this time there was no jacuzzi involved. And I dig this. She said, clearly AZ called me up to Parkchester just to have sex. And that was okay with me because I never wanted a relationship with AZ. AZ was Richard's sister's child's father, and he was supposed to be Richard's friend. I didn't want to get it out. I didn't want it to get out that she was having sex with AZ. I was looking out for him like he was looking out for me until he got too comfortable with his hygiene situation. Nah, she said, like I said, there was no jacuzzi. I guess before I got there, AZ didn't shower or take a bath because he was musty all over. She said afterwards he gave me a few $100, $500, all in single bills to be exact. AZ called me a cab to go home. I went downstairs by myself and got in the cab, and I never slept with AZ again. Big funky ass nigga. She said he's funky. She's musky all over the place, just comfortable with the hygiene and must. You know what I'm saying? She said when Richard died, AZ was one of the only guys who asked me if Rashana and I were okay. He asked me if I needed anything and gave me money. Oh my God, he was so nice. He really cared about Rich, I thought. I thought AZ was looking out for me because he was Richard's friend, but no, AZ was looking out for himself. He knew I was in need emotionally and financially. He took advantage of my vulnerability. I was 21, naive, and easy to deceive. Nah. He knew that. And that's why he liked to deal with young girls. I've done a interview with one of his children's mothers, and she said as much. She said that's why he dealt with young girls, because he could manipulate them. They were easy to deceive and this and that, and control. You did.
Hey man, I'ma just say this. That nigga, a dirty nigga, in more ways than one. And all the shit that I've been hearing, that people who are around in that, time and all that shit, even the Queens guy that was going out to Harlem and had stories or whatever, when I was running with them and this. But shout out my nigga Big Man, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause he was the first one that really put me on to like how that nigga told, because he actually knew Von Du and all of them and shit like that, and Homie Bow and all that shit. So, yeah, but like that shit crazy.
She said AZ wanted a taste of what Richard had. I remember the second time that we had sex, AZ and I were at the hotel in New Jersey. AZ was having sex with her from the back, and he said Now I know why Richard was so in love with you. This is real good. I didn't say anything. I never said much. There you go right there. She said, I fell right into his trap. That shows the envious side of him right there. How you getting it with her and you say, oh, now I know why Rich was so in love with you. That show her you.
You really over here thinking about your dead partner while you knocking his old lady down. Like, you just like, yo, that nigga is a horny ass nigga. Like, no type of player in him at all, bro.
Envious. That show us you envious. Her telling this story right here, man. This is a crazy situation. I don't know. Let me know how you feel about it. But for somebody that be saying all of that, Alpo shouldn't have did this and he shouldn't have did that. You don't kill somebody you love. Why you didn't ask him this and why you didn't do that? Why you exhibit that scumbag behavior, man? And try to trick with his baby mother after he left the earth. You dig what I'm talking about? That ain't cool, homie. That ain't cool. Why he ain't never spoke about that in the interview? Why that ain't never come up? I wonder. It's probably because he don't want people.
Niggas only tell a part of the story that make them look good. Lame ass.
To look at him the way he's trying to make them look at Pope. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. I don't care what you say about it. That ain't no homeboy behavior. That ain't cool. You don't go, nigga, if you doing something out of your heart, you don't go doing it with looking to get something, looking to gain something from it. Other than the fulfillment of doing whatever you came to do. You feel me? If I came over there to look out for my man's family because he gone, then that's what I'm doing. I ain't looking out for him and expecting nothing in return or looking for something in return or trying to get something in return. You dig? That's wrong, and I don't care how you cut it, man. But get in the comment box and let me know how you feel about it, homeboy.
Yeah, man. AZIE a snake ass nigga, man. Dirty ass nigga. Musky, funky nigga. Rat ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? Nothing much else to be said about that.